Hey guys, so today I'm going to be making a Cold War Zombies weapon tier list. Uh, yeah, I'm just going to get straight into the tiers. Starting off with the XM4. The assault rifles are largely uninteresting. I'm going to speed through some of them. The XM4 is really not that special. Fast fire rate, low recoil, decent damage. Um, it has a large pool of ammo, but most ARs have those. Yeah, it's just a C tier. The AK-47 is a little bit better than the XM4, just for its better damage output. But it has a lower fire rate and just a tad more recoil. The Krieg, speaking of low recoil, this thing has no recoil, but it has almost the exact same damage output as the XM4. I'm just gonna put it in B tier. The QBZ D tier. Um, the Fafard has the fastest fire rate in its class. I'm probably gonna put it at the top of B tier. I don't think it's fantastic, but it's good. It's good. One of the larger magazines in this. It has one of the larger magazines in this game. But the Graza, it's a B tier. The Farah, again, B tier. The C58. This has, I think, this might have either the second or the largest ammo pool of ammo in this entire game. I think the PPSH has slightly more ammo, but man, this thing hits like a truck. Um, it's a pretty good gun. I'm gonna put it in A tier. But the fire rate's the fire rate's really slow. That's what's keeping it from being S tier. The fire rate is just really slow. EM2, I mean, speaking of slow fire rate, this gun has the slowest fire rate in class. So, but even then, the damage is really good on the EM2. I'm probably gonna put it in A tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in A tier, but I'm probably gonna put it below the C58. The Grav has a lot of quirky attachments. That's why this is probably my favorite. That's why this is my favorite AR in the game. Um, or assault rifle. I'm probably gonna put it at the top of B tier, just because I'm biased. The SMGs are kind of like the ARs. They're most of them, or at least some of them, are largely uninteresting. The MP5 is one of them. But the SMGs are also just. But the SMGs, I would say, are better than the ARs. But the MP5, it's not really that great. I'm probably gonna put it in C tier with the XM4. The Milano, oh yeah, I'm putting it up here. Probably below the C58, but this gun does a lot of damage. But the fire rate's too slow. AK-74U, it's right next to the AK-47. KSP, yeah, I think that's the first S tier of this on this tier list. It's a 3 round burst weapon, so that it's just automatically S tier just because it's a 3 round burst weapon. But it just does so much freaking damage. The recoil is almost non-existent, as it has a good amount of ammo. It's just really good. It's just a really good gun. The Bullfrog, it also has a good amount of ammo, but the damage output is not quite as good. I'm probably gonna put it at the low end of A tier. Mac 10. Still have a lot of guns to get through. But as long as I don't think about it, this tier list will go by super quickly. But Mac 10 is also an S tier. It has a blazing fast fire rate. But also actually good, surprisingly good damage. It has it has one of the best DPS values in this entire game. Um, this is probably and it's also probably my favorite SMG. So, again, I might be a little bit biased, but yeah, the LC-10. This gun is so freaking smooth, just like the Krig. But the damage, like the Krig, is not fantastic. So yeah, I'm just gonna put it next to the Krig. PPSH. Like I said earlier, this gun has the highest amount of ammo in the entire game. Um, but still, damage is not great. I mean, this thing only does 11,000 damage when it's fully upgraded, triple packed, legendary rarity, even with Deadshot. It's just yeah. It doesn't have great damage values, but it does have, like the Mag-10, it does have a great fire rate. Um, the OTS also an S tier. This thing also has one of the best DPS values in the entire game. I think, if I remember correctly, I think the OTS DPS is better than the Mag-10's DPS. But yeah, the Tech 9 also S tier. I mean, this S tier is just stacked with SMGs. But it's probably I think the Tech 9 might be the best SMG in the game though. It could even be top 5. It has a lot. Its ammo's good. Its damage is through the roof. It has one of the highest headshot multipliers in this game. It's also great against boss fights. It's also great in boss fights. Yeah, it's just a really good SMG. It's borderline top 5. Type 63, again, really good headshot multiplier. Um, but you know, its slow fire rate kind of holds it back. I mean, the fire rate's not really that slow, but it is slow compared to some of these other weapons. But I'm gonna put it at the top of B tier. Somewhere at the top of B tier, maybe above the Fafart. The M16, um, oh, F16, it's an S tier. It's probably below the KSP. They have very similar damage, but they have very similar damage outputs, but the M16 just has a slower fire rate. Just has a slower burst cycle rate, and lower ammo capacity. So yeah, the AUG, same thing. It's really good. I mean, just the 3-round burst weapons are just so good in this game. All of them are great. The DMR, I might put it at the low end of A tier. It's just a better version of this Type 63. It has a faster fire rate. I think it has better ammo. I don't quite remember, but yeah, DMR is good. Carve 2, oh yes. This is probably my favorite out of the 3-round burst weapons, but the 3-round burst guns they're interchangeable. I could switch their places, and there would be no difference. They're really interchangeable, but the Carve 2 is just my personal favorite because it just has no recoil. It just feels so smooth, and the firing sound, ooh, beefy. The type Stoner 63. It's nothing special. It's just a regular LMG. It's just B tier. RPD, same thing. M60, yeah. The MG82. I mean, the LMGs are just uninteresting in this game. The RPD is my favorite out of the four though. MG82, probably the M60 too. Yeah. Oh, the snipers. Oh yes, speed run time. Pillington E tier, Tundra E tier, MA2 F tier, CRG F tier, Swiss K31 D tier. Swiss K31 is my favorite out of the snipers, but that doesn't really mean anything. I never used the snipers in this game, and you shouldn't either, because they're bad. Don't even try them out. Don't even give them a chance. Well, maybe give them a chance, but and then you can have your own opinion on the snipers, but it's unanimously agreed that the snipers are the absolute worst weapons, not just in Cold War, but in all of zombies history. Oh, the pistols. I have a lot to say about the pistols. Oh yeah. The M1911 S tier. It has a really high damage multiplier, and with dual wield, this thing could have, and if you slap on dual wield with this thing, this gun has some of the highest DPS values in the entire game, and some of the highest headshot damage in the entire game. Honestly, it's just so good. I don't know why so many people think it's trash. It does 26,000 headshot damage. Um, yeah. It does 26,000 headshot damage with Deadshot when it's triple papped and when it's at legendary rarity. It's just how is that not good? Um, the Magnum, in my opinion, it's also underrated. I mean, I think the pistols are just largely underrated. I think the Magnum is a little bit better than the M1911 though. Um, it has an even higher damage headshot multiplier than the M1911. In fact, it almost does infinite damage. I'm not kidding. It almost does 60,000 damage. And by the way, the health cap for the zombies, and also the zombies' health can cap at 60,000. And this thing almost does 60,000 headshot damage. That's crazy. It also has a decent amount of ammo. It I don't have much to say about the Magnum because I really think it's one of the most overpowered guns in the game. I might put it somewhere over here. Sure, it's not good for boss fights. That's the only reason why it's not in top 5. No, I'm gonna put it over here. It's not great for boss fights, honestly. Yeah, it's not good for boss fights. That's what's holding it back. I guess it's not good for boss fights, but for high rounds, oh my goodness. I got to my highest round on D Machine with the Magnums. I think I got to round 75. I did it at midnight as well. Which is crazy, but yeah. Moving on to the DMRs, they're also best here. They're somewhat. It's another burst. It's another burst weapon that you could dual wield. I still like the Carve 2 more, but I think the DMI is close. DMI is close to being my favorite 3-round burst weapon. DM63's automatic top 5. Yeah, automatic top 5. This gun is broken. Really good headshot multiplier. I mean, of course, all pistols have really good headshot multipliers. It's fully automatic. And obviously you can dual wield it. It has very little recoil, good fire rate. The ammo is not the best. Its ammo capacity is not the best. so I don't think it's the best weapon in the game. But it's still up there. It's close to being the best weapon in the game. If it had just a little bit more ammo, it. Oh yeah. The Marshalls, oh, easily the worst pistols in the game. I'm putting it in C tier. Yeah, I'm putting that gun in. Yeah, I'm putting that gun in C tier. It's not great. It really isn't. The Howler, top 5. The Spaz 12 or the Gallo SA12 as it's called in this game, even better. It's in top 5. The Street Sweeper, top 5. And the Ironhide, this is the only shotgun that's not in top 5. It might actually be down here somewhere. Maybe not. It's in C tier. Its damage is really freaking good. Yeah, that's all I have to say. It does a lot. It has the highest, it has the best damage output of all the shotguns. The Sigma 2, the Ligma 2, awful. I don't think it's as bad as the, I don't think it's as bad as the CRG, but I think it's worse than the M82. That's saying something. Yeah, it just does absolutely no damage. It's a rocket launcher. It's a rocket launcher, which is why it's not the worst weapon in the game, in my opinion, obviously. But the damage is so pitiful that it's close. It's close to being the worst weapon in the game. The RPG on the other hand has really good damage output. I don't know if I should put it in top 5 or S or in S or top of S tier. I'm gonna put it at the top of S tier. Cause there's another weapon I want to put that I feel like putting in top 5. The knife, it's just a middle of the road melee weapon. Infinite damage. It's B tier. It's just great. Sledgehammer, no. I'm gonna put in awful, but no. Or no. Well, yeah, I'm putting in awful, but I think it's better than the ZRG. Maybe not actually. No, I think it's worse than the ZRG. Never mind. At least the ZRG can be really freaking good for taking out boss zombies. The ZRG is actually quite useful for as a secondary weapon. Sledgehammer, never use this weapon. Never spawn in with it. Never use it if you get it out of the mystery box. Never use it. It's the only weapon in the game where I would suggest you don't give it a try. It's just so painful to use and it's just so awkward and clunky and just makes me so uncomfortable. The Wakizashi, it's A tier. Try at the top of A tier. Maybe at the bottom of S tier. Yeah, I feel like it's a better spot for it. The E-tool, S tier. I'm putting it at the top right here. The machete. Oh my goodness. F tier. Baseball bat. As it functions the exact same. It functions in a very similar way as the knife. So B tier. Mace, C tier. The cane, C tier. The sai, maybe also in S tier. The battle axe, another F tier. The M79. This is the gun that I wanted to put in top 5. It's probably the best weapon in the game for camping. It has good ammo. I think you almost get 100. I think you get 100. What would you call it? Grenades. When you pap this thing, almost 100 grenades. Which is a lot for an explosive weapon. Yeah, I really don't have much to say about it. If you're using Ring of Fire, then you're automatically gonna get to round 50, maybe even around 100. Um, the R1 Shadow Hunter. This is another gun I feel is underrated. I don't, I don't, I don't. um, it's at the bottom of A tier though. It can get pretty weak on the on the higher rounds, like round 50, maybe even mid 40s. The ballistic knife, I'm gonna put it in B tier because it is really good on co-op. Because when you pap it, you can revive your down teammates. On solo, even though I got to round 67 on Mallard or Toten with this weapon, I still don't think I think it's a lot better on co-op than it is on solo. If you want to use this thing on solo to get to round 50, then I would highly suggest you use Shadow Blast with this thing. The nail gun, F tier, another atrocious weapon. It does no damage. The damage output is just so bad. I might as well not deal any damage at all. But that's the end of the tier list, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you happen to enjoy this video, like the video and subscribe to my channel, which is of course optional. And I have nothing more to say. So that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.